See, the plan was to climb with Speedroid this month, and then this abomination happened. Hey guys, Sonic Smash Bros. Here, and when even I feel like I have to tier horror for once, you know something is absolutely wrong in every way imaginable. Granted, I wanted to do something for GX World for a while now, considering while I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Through 5Ds, and thanks to the anime, I actually got started on knowing Yu-Gi-Oh! At all through Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. So there is a little bit of nostalgia here, but Dragonic Neos is just, in one word, why? And time to show what the problem is in full. Let's start things off by looking at the elephant in the room. Dragonic Contact. You can use this skill's second effect once per turn, not once per duel for some reason, or any per duel restriction for that matter, if your main deck contains Rainbow Dragon. First effect, you cannot special summon monsters except for Neos, Yubel, Elemental Hero, and Neospatial monsters. Why Yubel is even here, I have no idea. Now, for the problem. Second effect, send one warrior monster or a level 10 monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard. Then play one of the following monsters from your deck or graveyard in face-down defense position. Its battle position can be changed. And add Super Polymerization from your deck and or Polymerization from outside of your deck to your hand. The monsters you can summon through this skill's effect are Elemental Hero Neos, an ultimate crystal monster, so that's Rainbow Dragon and Rainbow Dark Dragon, and a Wind Armed Dragon monster treated as having been special summoned by the effect of an Armed Dragon monster, so Armed Dragon Thunder level 10 gets all of its effects for some unknown reason. So, since we don't play Polymerization in the main deck proper, for all 0 of you or 1 of you who don't know what this card does, fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. Very simple. So, getting right into things, we have Armed Dragon Thunder level 10. If this card was special summoned by the effect of an Armed Dragon monster, it gains the following effects based on its attack points. With even 1, its name becomes Armed Dragon level 10. With 10 or more, control of it cannot switch. With 100 or more, cannot be destroyed by battle. With 1,000 or more, the biggest effect that matters, once per opponent's turn, quick effect, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, then target one other card in the field, destroy it. If you do, this card gains 1,000 attack points. With 10,000 or more, which is never going to happen, once per turn, you can destroy all other cards on the field. Like I said, that's never going to happen. The only things that matter are the quick effect and the destruction by battle immunity. Moving right along, we have Neos Wiseman. I still play Neos Kaluger, I still play Neos Wiseman. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by sending one face-up Elemental Hero Neos and one face-up Yubel you control to the graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Though, that is a lie because of Neos Kaluger. This card cannot be destroyed by card effects at all. At the end of a damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack points, and you gain life points equal to that monster's defense points. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. We do have a single Yubel in here for Neos Kaluger and Neos Wiseman. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Before damage calculation, when this face-up attack position card is attacked by an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that monster's attack points. During your end phase, tribute one other monster or destroy this card. When this card is destroyed, except by its own effect, its owner can special summon one Yubel Terror Incarnate from their hand, deck, or graveyard. Again, this is just here for Neos Kaluger and Neos Wiseman. Rainbow Dragon. This card is always treated as an ultimate crystal card unless it is in the graveyard. That's going to be important for later. Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by having 7 Crystal Beast cards with different names on your field and or in your graveyard. That is a lie because the skill cheats it out. This card cannot activate the following effects the turn it is special summoned. Quick effect. You can send all face-up Crystal Beast monsters you control to the graveyard. This card gains 1,000 attack for each monster sent to the graveyard by this effect. You can banish all Crystal Beast monsters from your graveyard, shuffle all cards on the field into the deck. This is just here for Rainbow Neos and to be a 4K beatstick. Armed Dragon level 10. This card cannot be normal summoned or set. This card cannot be special summoned except by tributing one Armed Dragon level 7. You can send one card from your hand to the graveyard to destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls, not once per turn. I've learned that the hard way. I've made plenty of other people learn that the hard way. It is dumb. Triple Elemental Hero Stratos. We are playing Elemental Hero's greatest hits, starting with the party starter himself in Stratos. When this card is normally special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. You can destroy spell or trap cards on the field up to the number of hero monsters you currently control, except for this card. So if some get hit with, say, like a super poly or any sort of removal in response to this activation, that's one less spell and trap pop, so keep that in mind. Or you can add a hero monster from your deck to your hand. This is not once per turn either, so say you do Solid Soldier, Stratos, poly them away, get Stratos back out of the graveyard, you can activate the effect multiple times a turn. It's dumb. We do have a single Cross Keeper in here. Yes, all the ones I ended up with were glossy, figure that one out. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon one Elemental Hero monster or a Neospatian monster from your hand or graveyard, but negate its effects if special summoned from the graveyard. Which, why would we bring out a Neospatian? Just saying. If you special summon an Elemental Hero Fusion monster while this card is in your graveyard except during the damage step, you can banish this card, draw 2 cards, then place one card from your hand on the bottom of the deck. You can only use each effect once per turn. There is a reason we only have one in here. We'll get to that later. We do have a couple of hand traps in here. Double effect failure. During your opponent's main phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard and target a face-up effect monster your opponent controls. And that face-up monster has its effects negated until the end of this turn. This is a quick effect. And Badidi Crow. This card can be really annoying. During either player's turn, you can discard this card to the graveyard and target one card in your opponent's graveyard and banish that target. Double Elemental Hero Liquid Soldier. Yeah, the structure deck gave out Alt Art Stratos, Liquid Soldier, and a couple of other critical cards for this. Sound the Jaden favoritism alarm, folks. When this card is normal summoned, you can target a level 4 or lower hero monster in your graveyard except for Liquid Soldier and special summon it. If this card is used as fusion material for a hero monster and sent to the graveyard or banished, you can draw 2 cards, discard 1 card. This is essentially an Angel Baton. 1 effect per turn, only once that turn. 99% of the time, you are using the draw effect. Just saying. My personal tech of choice, I love this little guy, Neospace Connector. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one Neospatian monster or one Elemental Hero Neos from your hand or deck in defense position. You can tribute this card and literally do the same thing except you're special summoning from the graveyard in defense position. Each effect is once per turn. We're never tributing this thing. The deal is, we normal summon Connector, get Neos out of the deck, and then use the skill to send the Connector to get something else. If you don't like having this, you can put in like another Cross Keeper, another Liquid Soldier, Solid Soldier, anything else really. But me personally, I have a bit of a soft spot for Neospace Connector, so why would I not at least put one in here? You know what I'm saying? Bit of sentimental value with Neospace Connector. This thing's coming clutch in so many ways for me that you wouldn't even realize how good this can be until you see it in action. And of course, triple Elemental Hero Neos. Most builds play 2, I prefer 3 because we do triple Neos fusion. We also want consistency with this for just fusions in general, being able to pitch with the skill and getting it onto the field if we need to. We also have Neospace Connector to pull one from the deck, so consistency is a must. That's it for monsters. On to spells, no traps. Double Forbidden Droplet, I do have a third now though. Send any number of other cards from your hand and or field to the graveyard, choose that many effect monsters your opponent controls. Until the end of this turn, their attack is halved, also their effects are negated. In response to this card's activation, your opponent can activate cards or the effects of cards with the same original type, monster, spell, or trap respectively, as the cards you sent to the graveyard to activate this card, 1 Forbidden Droplet activation per turn. Pretty standard reason as to why. Very standard card at this point. The elephant in the room itself, Super Polymerization. Discard 1 card, fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from either side of the field as fusion material. Cards and effects cannot be activated in response to this effect's activation. It is a speed spell 4. The moment this goes off, it's ending the chain like it or not. Double Miracle Fusion. Had I known we'd be getting this in the structure deck, sound the Jaden favoritism alarm, folks, I wouldn't have wasted 200 box chips on 2 of these. Anyway, Fusion summon one elemental hero fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials listed on it from your side of the field or your graveyard. Actually, wait, no, Rainbow Dragon is an ultimate crystal monster, but it's not elemental hero Rainbow Neos, it's just Rainbow Neos, and the same with Arm Neos. You can't summon either one of those through Miracle Fusion. Keep that in mind. So yeah, Rainbow Dragon's always an ultimate crystal, but Miracle Fusion can't bring out Rainbow Neos. Pain. Anyway, double Cosmic Cyclone, pay 1,000 life points, target a spell or trap on the field, and banish it. I do keep double Cosmic in here just for a little bit of anti-back row consistency. The reason I only play 2 is twofold. 1, we don't have the room for a third, as much as we would love to have 3. And 2, Stratos can also take care of back row anyway. So, although it's better to have Cosmic for Unchained, or just dealing with Zombie World in general, or just a lot of other stuff, you really would just rather let Stratos take care of the back row when it comes up sometimes. Granted, Cosmic is always good. Cosmic will never not be good, but hey. We have the double Book of Eclipse. Change all face-up monsters on the field to face-down defense position. During the end phase of this turn, flip as many face-down defense position monsters on your opponent's field face-up as possible. Then, the opponent draws cards equal to the number of monsters flipped face-up by this effect. Triple Neos Fusion. Special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck that lists exactly 2 monsters as material, including Elemental Hero Neos, by sending those monsters from your hand, deck, or field to the graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters at all. If a fusion monster or monsters you control that lists Elemental Hero Neos as material will be destroyed by battle or card effect, or shuffled into the extra deck by its own effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So, this is destruction protection. Really insane. This card in general is just dumb. Always was. Onto the extra deck with Rainbow Neos. Must be fusion summoned with the above fusion material monsters and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, you can activate one of these effects. You can either send one monster you control to the graveyard to shuffle all monsters your opponent controls into the deck, send a spell or trap you control to the graveyard to shuffle all spell and traps your opponent controls into the deck, or send one card from the top of your deck to the graveyard to shuffle all spell and trap cards and monster cards in your opponent's graveyard into the deck. So, this is graveyard removal, this is board clearing, this is literally anything you need at any given time, and 4,500 attack, unless your Crystal Wing is really, really, really difficult to get over. We do have Arm Neos in here, in part because there's a super poly target. We really don't use that often anymore. So I'd rather have this in here for at least some consistency. Must be fusion summoned. If this card is special summoned, you can choose one dragon monster in your graveyard and destroy all monsters your opponent controls face up with an equal or lower level than it. Xyz and Lynx ignore this, unfortunately, but what can you do? They also kind of need to. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can make this card gain the following effect. During the main phase, quick effect. You contribute this card, special summon one Elemental Hero Fusion monster from your extra deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Next up is a super poly target. Elemental Hero The Shining. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card gains 300 attack points for each of your banished Elemental Hero monsters. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target up to 2 of your banished Elemental Hero monsters, add those targets to your hand. Next up is Elemental Hero Great Tornado, whereas The Shining is a good out for stuff like Star Seraph, Quasar, Blue Eyes, because people still don't let go of Blue Eyes, Sunrise in the Mirror, Rainbow Neos. This is our out to Crystal Wing. Must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card is fusion summoned, have the attack and defense points of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls. Next up is an extender, combo tool, you name it, Elemental Hero Sunrise. Once again, the structure deck gave us this too. Sound the Jaden favoritism alarm one more time, folks. Must be fusion summoned. Monsters you control gain 200 attack points for each different attribute you control. And you can only use each of the following effects of Sunrise once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can add a Miracle Fusion from your deck to your hand. And When an attack is declared involving another hero monster you control, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. Next up is Elemental Hero Brave Neos. This is a super poly target. It's a combo extender. It's also a way to search Crosskeeper. Keep this in the extra deck, because if you play Neos Fusion and make Brave Neos by sending this and Crosskeeper, well, Neos and Crosskeeper, from deck to grave, that also procs the Banish from Crosskeeper to draw 2. I actually do that in the replays. You'll see what I mean. Must be Fusion Summon, gains 100 attack points for each Neos Fusion and Hero monster in your graveyard. When this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add a spell or trap from your deck to your hand that specifically lists the card Elemental Hero Neos in its text. You're always searching Neos Fusion. You're just always searching Neos Fusion, what can I say? Back to Super Poly targets, we have Elemental Hero Gaia. Must be Fusion Summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. When this card is Fusion Summoned, target one face-up monster your opponent controls until the end phase. Its attack is halved, and this card gains the same amount of attack points. Next up is Elemental Hero Neos Kluger. Must be Fusion Summoned before damage calculation. If this card battles an opponent's monster, you can inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of that opponent's monster's attack points. If this face-up card is destroyed by battle or leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect while its owner controls it, you can special summon one Neos Wiseman from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. This effect is once per turn. And lastly, we have one more Super Poly target, Elemental Hero Escurido. Must be Fusion Summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. This card gains 100 attack points for each Elemental Hero monster in your graveyard. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. That is it for the deck. There are some alternatives I do want to talk about. Let's filter spells real quick. DDR, Darkhold, Desynchro, where's the card I really want to talk about here? Because you may notice there is a lack of a very specific card. Alright, let's do it this way. Okay, that's just straight up a bug. That's the second time I've tried that because I've had to re-record this due to audio issues. But emergency call, you already know what that does. It's essentially a rota for elemental heroes. And not limit 3 for some reason. But more than that, we have a Super Poly target we don't use. Elemental Hero Nova Master. Must be Fusion Summoned and cannot be special summoned by other ways. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, draw 1 card. Next up, Elemental Hero Solid Soldier. When this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 lower hero monster from your hand. If this card is sent from the monster zone to the graveyard by a spell effect, you can target a hero monster in your graveyard, except for Solid Soldier, special summon it in defense position. And this effect is once per turn. So, this can be an extender. This can just normal summon Special Stratos from hand and then combo off from there. It's dumb. It's ridiculous. Now, if you want a hand trap that you might want in order to actually stop an FTK running around, that for some reason is a spellcaster, I don't understand why it is, draw Unlock Bird. During the player's turn, if your opponent adds a card or cards from their deck to their hand except during the draw phase, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and for the rest of this turn, neither player can add a card or cards from their deck to their hand, stopping the imitation FTK outright. So you might want to consider that if you're dealing with the imitation FTK. Oh, and also another reason why we run Cosmics and just Armed Dragon under level 10. You want to be ready for Winged Dragon of Ra, because Ra is a divine monster. The Egyptian gods are divine monsters. They cannot be super polyed in any way. So that's another reason to run Cosmics. That's another reason to run the Armed Dragon under level 10. It really depends on the matchups you run into. But yeah, if you don't like Neo Space Connector, you can throw in another Crosskeeper, you can throw in another Liquid Soldier, you can throw in Solid Soldier, you can throw in another Hand Trap. There's just so many alternatives to talk about, but I don't have enough time to talk about all of them. Let's get straight to the replays, shall we? So, about 5 attempts in, I got this abomination of a run. Get ready for the prime example of why I hate Tier 0 formats so much. Genuinely, so much.
I'll show you. No matter what monster you summon, I'm gonna duel my duel. Duel! Here I go. This will do. I activate my monster's effect.
So, yeah, there's a reason we run 30 cards, and you're seeing it right now. You do not ever want to open the Super Poly.
Activate the spell card. This will do. I fusion summon a monster. I activate my monster's effect.
Now, when you're using Liquid Soldier to fusion summon Sunrise, always
I'm ending my turn.
chain 1 Liquid Soldier, chain 2 Sunrise. Thus, you search your Miracle Fusion first, and then you get your draw 2. For the longest time, people were not doing this.
My monster's effect. I throw down. Go. Just what I was waiting for.
Boy, do you really not read?
My turn. I draw. I activate my spell card.
I really did not want to have to do that.
I fusion summon a monster. I activate my monster's effect.
But this works out to some extent.
I activate my monster's
Vanish, get our
effect.
draw 2, put the Neos Wiseman back.
Battle. I owe it to my friends. I fusion summon a monster. Swirl up a Great Tornado's effect. I flip over my face down card. First. I activate a quick play spell. Take this. I attack just what I was waiting for. Seems like things are looking up for me. Good. I end my turn.
And he threw by using the Necro Gardener wrong, but I also threw by swinging in the Great Tornado for whatever reason.
I activate my take to the skies. Element Stratos' effect activates.
And here we go.
The spell card. I'm counting on you, buddy. I fusion summon a
Sunrise, and the party begins anew.
Let's bow to your my monster's effect activate. I'm not letting up. I draw.
And so, because I drew the Armed Dragon level 10, I decided to meme.
I activate the spell card. Polymerization. I fusion summon a monster.
You know what's coming.
Rainbow Dragon and Neos? Show them the strength of our bond. Here's Rainbow Neos.
Fun fact, when this card was originally used for an event, it did not have a summon animation. Mind you, that event was ages ago by now.
Let's battle. This duel was fun, but it all has to...
And goodbye. So, you like the Dragonic Neos mirror, folks? How about we do it again? Oh my god, dude. This is the reason why I hate Tier 0 formats so much, because this is all you're seeing. Well, mind you, it's only 4 of the games in this attempt, but it's still way too many.
Yubel lives within me. My hero deck is way better than before. Sweet duel! Here I go. Join me. I activate my monster's effect. I'll give it my... I activate the spell card. Polymerization. Join me.
So, unfortunately, not only did I have to pitch the Neos Wiseman, but despite getting the full combo, I also did just straight up draw the Crosskeeper. So I opt to thin up the deck as much as possible and get as many interactions on the field as possible. Keeping Arm Dragon Thunder face down so it doesn't become a super poly target. Let's just Veil her right then and there.
I fusion summon a monster. I activate my monster's effect. I activate my
This is just Yu-Gi-Oh. This is just Yu-Gi-Oh.
Join me. I fusion summon a monster.
Gives up Arm Dragon level 10 for reasons I will never understand.
I activate my monsters if my monster buddies and I have an unbreakable
And unfortunately forces me to super poly.
I fusion summon a monster. Just what I was waiting for. I'll throw go. Attack. Oh, my monster buddies and I have an unbreakable. Check this out. I fusion summon a monster. Go.
So, first of all, why did you not do that sooner? Second of all, do you not read Arm Dragon Thunder level 10?
I don't like losing, but I'd rather have a fun duel. That's game.
Man, when people play these cards for free wins and you can't even read what they do when they're used against them.
Time to get my game on. I kinda have... Sweet. All right. Duel. Here I go.
And so, here we go again, and you can tell this guy's bad right away.
From my hand, come forth. My turn. My turn. I activate my spell card.
So, despite the fact that, well, that would have been really good to force me to waste 2 cards to break the board, he chooses to just leave the Neos Fusion in graveyard, and I don't understand why.
Throw down a face down. I throw down battle. Show him what you got. This duel was here goes nothing. I'm ending my turn. Here I go. I draw. I activate the spell card. I fusion summon a monster. Swirl up. Great tornadoes affect my monster buddies and I have an unbreakable bond. Come out. I fusion summon a monster. Just what I was waiting for. Let's battle. Just what I was waiting. My turn. Done. Here I go. You bell lit.
So here's the deal.
From my hand.
I Eclipse here to put Rainbow Neos' effect back online.
I throw down Rainbow Neos uses its. Whoa, I can't.
And yeah, goodbye, GG. Hey. That's just how it goes. Now let's do it again!
I'll give it my best shot. Yubel lives within me. No matter what my hero does.
Now here I actually get the full combo for draw 4. So you'll see it here. We're gonna normal summon Stratos, activate, get our Liquid Soldier. Use the skill to pitch whatever monster you don't need, and put Arm Dragon Thunder level 10 on the board. If you're dealing with the mirror or you're dealing with Predaplants, well, more so if you're dealing with the mirror, keep it face down so it doesn't become a super poly target. Use Polymerization, using Stratos and Liquid Soldier to make
I
Sunrise.
activate my monsters
Then you're going to
effect.
use Liquid Soldier,
I
chain
activate
2
my
Sunrise,
monsters effect.
search your Miracle Fusion, and then draw 2. Pitch whatever card you don't need.
I activate my spell
Activate
card.
Neos Fusion here,
Neos Fusion. Go.
using
Elemental
Neos and
hero,
Crosskeeper
Brave Neos.
to make Brave Neos.
I activate
That
my
triggers
monsters
Crosskeeper.
effect.
Banish, draw 2, pitch a card you don't
Throw
need.
down a face
I would
down.
have loved to keep the connector in hand, but
I'm
hand traps are more
Here
important
I
in this
go.
situation.
I draw. Spell card. E. Emergency call. Join me. I summon. I activate my.
This mirror
monsters
match was
effect.
brought to you by the letter E.
I kinda have a.
So, he sees me combo like that, I think, okay, he's gonna steal something like that, right? He doesn't even do that correctly.
I activate the spell card. Join me. I fusion summon a monster. I activate my.
I figured he
monsters
would've,
effect.
but he just didn't.
I activate my spell card. Miracle fusion. Check.
Pitches a needle ceiling, so I know he has
Fusion
another
summon
one
a
ready.
monster. I activate my monster. I throw down. Let's back
Now,
up.
I don't know why he doesn't choose to just crash his Sunrise into mine first. More importantly, I don't understand why he chooses to go after Brave Neos there.
Hey, slow down. I'll play my face down card. I activate a quick fight. End my turn. I draw. Go. Elf. You bell. I activate my monsters effect. I activate my spell card. Miracle fusion. Check this out. I fusion summon a monster. I activate my monsters effect. From my hand, I activate a quick play spell. I activate my
So,
spell card.
I do guess right
Neos
on the
Fusion.
Super Poly.
Check this out. I special summon a
But I play the Neos Fusion anyway,
Take this.
because,
I attack. I'll play
yeah,
my
I
face
knew
down.
that was coming.
I activate a trap card. I activate my monsters effect.
So, I'm running out of time here. I have like 7 seconds left on the clock by the time this happens.
Seems like you should have defeated me. I draw spell card. E. Emergency call. You bell lift.
And so he grabs Neos for some reason. Granted, he's gonna poly anyway.
I activate the spell card. This will do. I fusion summon a monster. I activate face.
Now, I Veiler here because I figure, okay, he might have Miracle Fusion. No, he apparently already had something going.
Summon a monster. I activate my monsters effect. I throw down
At
a
this
face
point, I
down.
was out of time, so I figure, okay, whatever happens, happens this turn. I'll be ready
That's
for
game.
the next one. Turns out there wasn't a next one because he was also running out of time, but judging by the fact that he was setting face downs, probably had nothing left anyway. So, that was a thing. That was a thing, to say the least. And so, time for that one guy who just won't let go of Blue Eyes. Well, one of many, but still.
I'll give it my. Let's duel. This will do. I activate my monsters effect. I kinda have
So we
a
just
cool
search another
power.
Stratos. You know how this goes.
I activate the spell card. Oh, this will do. I fusion summon a monster. I activate my monsters effect.
Search Miracle Fusion.
I'll throw
Pitch
down
and
a
bell,
face
'cause we don't
down.
really need
Throw
it.
down a- I'll throw down a face down. I'm ending my turn.
Draw, emerge. Dragon spirit of light's effect.
Now, I choose to pitch the Miracle Fusion here,
Flip over my
so he
face
can't
down card.
use Successor Soul in
Quick play
response.
spell.
This let me know he had a Blue Eyes White Dragon in his hand already.
From my hand.
In fact, he did have Successor Soul. The reason I don't make that play specifically
From my hand.
Well, as you can
I
see
activate
right
a
there.
Quick play spell. Watch closely.
Had he done that differently, he actually would have board broken me.
I set a card. I set a card. Will now back. Watch and learn. My monster's effect. I end
Takes the
my
damage, banishes Arm Dragon Thunder level 10, that's
Check
annoying,
this out.
but we do have
I
Stratos.
activate my monster's
Not
effect.
so fast.
Crackdown,
My monster
and
brings
I don't
an
care about that
critical
because
blow.
I have Super Poly.
I activate join me. I fusion summon a monster. Yubel lives within
And so, considering I noticed he has no response, that only means one of two things. That's either another Ultimate Fusion, or he was going to do Crackdown Successor Soul.
Let's go! Elemental Hero Neos!
But, buddy, I still have Neos. I was about to style. He surrenders before I can get the style kill by finishing him with Neos.
Battle! Take this! My monster attacks you directly.
This can't be happening. Victory was in my grasp, but I somehow let it slip away.
I can't lose yet. Not when I'm fighting for someone who's in my heart.
So yeah, he could have played that completely differently, and actually won if he was smart. He just wasn't, because Blue Eyes players do be Blue Eyes players and not understand how their own cards work. Anyway, that said, that is Dragonic Neos and King of Games. And like I said many times over, and I will continue to say it, there is a reason I hate Tier 0 formats so much. Stuff like this. People are literally running non-fusion area, a continuous trap floodgate, to stop stuff like this. When floodgates have to get involved, you know there's a problem. When you're making invoked Mechaba, of all things, look weak, there's a problem. When you're invalidating all the stuff that's in the new box and all the recent support in general, without a single card from the new box, minus Droplet, I guess, if you didn't get it from the selection box like I did, there's a problem. And this just proves it. This skill is mindless. This deck in general is cancer, as it is now. You all know me as the Synchron guy, back when I still mained Synchron and still want to go back to maining Synchron, but we don't have the new support for that yet. You all know me for Synchro stuff in general. When even I feel like I have to do this, something is wrong. This needs to go. This just straight up needs to go. Imagine getting all of this before we even get Junk Speeder. Pain. Actual pain. But, in all seriousness, there is one specific issue with this deck, and it is the only weakness it has. Ra. Because Divine Monsters do not have a Super Poly. They don't have a Super Poly target in any way, they don't have a fusion in any way. They're just the Egyptian gods. So Ra becomes one of the best answers to something like, specifically, this. That and Water Xyz monsters. We do not have Absolute Zero in the game, so Water Xyz monsters cannot be super polyed either. At least as of right now. But Predaplants do at least have an answer. The thing is, Predaplants have to play out of their freaking mind just to be able to deal with this. This is just ridiculous. A lot of stuff needs to be hit. Something just needs to change before the KC Cup, or this is just going to be unplayable. Speed as is now is just unplayable because of this. Among many other reasons, but still. Hopefully, within the coming month, within, like, next month sometime, things change drastically for the better. Because I want to be able to go back to Synchro support, just in general. I want to be able to go back to Synchron. I want to be able to go back to the stuff I love, the deck I love in general. And I mean, come on. Are you really trying to tell me you didn't expect me to take this? Stardust is my boy. And not to mention, this looks amazing. Of course I'm going to take this. I want to be able to go back to playing this stuff. It's fun. This is what I love doing. Synchro is what I love doing in general. Especially good old Synchron. But they're giving Jaden all this favoritism before we even get Speeder. What is this? Either way, things need to change. They should have been changing a long while ago. And hopefully, with a ban list and a skill rebalance that heavily brings the hammer down on this thing, things change for the better. But considering Kamani's obvious Jaden favoritism with the structure deck, I also doubt it. We'll see how things go. So, until the next video, whatever it might be, please let it be something better than this absolute abomination. Whatever it might be. Later, guys.